all of these different forums, you know, and I set them up for the students. And I had discussion boards for every chapter, and then I would have discussion boards for reviews. Like if I was given an exam, I would have a discussion board set up for a review. So you could post questions that you didn't understand about any of the chapters. And this year what I'm doing is I'm doing every couple of chapters, I give them the opportunity to ask me questions rather than like every 5 or 6 chapters. I give them, you know, opportunities to ask questions. But one of the things that, like, for example, this one, and now these, I'm gonna tell you, these were actually, these were discussion board questions that the textbook had. They were very good, and I was like, okay, I can, some of them I think I added definition of marketing and the concept of utility, but I think this was one of theirs, and it basically, what benefits monetary and non-monetary do social responsibility programs bring to a business? So then the students go in and respond, and you'll have a response. And see, it's a little difficult on so you have the response. And so what I'm doing this year, so they give the response, and then you can reply to the response, and then they have an opportunity. And I want the students also to reply to the responses. And so I have there's actually, and I can show you, there's a rubric that they are using. So this rubric actually, it helps the students, and I changed it a little bit because I actually give numbers, because we do assessment in the School of Business, and so we have a 1, 2, 3 grading scale, so, assessment. So what I did was I said 4 is excellent, 3 is good, 1 is average. 1 and average and poor are both our 1s, I think, or I said poor is 0 or something like that. But anyway, timely contributions. So are you responding as soon as the discussion is posted, or are you waiting until the end? Well, if you wait till the end, you're not going to be able to reply to anybody else's post. Or some people, what they do is they'll reply to everybody else's post, but they're not posting their own. And I'm thinking, okay, hello. Quality of postings and responses. And again, I give some actual, I want them to really, and these are like juniors, so they're like, this is their first marketing course, so I don't expect them to, understand all the theoretical implications of marketing and everything. But what I want them to think about is, okay, we learned this last week. How does that apply to what we're learning this week? And how can what I'm doing in my business, if I'm this expert for this business, how can I apply that? So when I'm talking about quality of responses, I don't want to hear, I agree with that. I don't want to see that. I don't want to just see, oh yeah, that's interesting. We have one student who is doing Starbucks. That's one of the companies they use, and she did this great analysis on Starbucks, their product line and their product mix and everything. Talked about everything, and this one student posted back and she said, "Oh, I really want a latte now." And I'm thinking, okay, that is not. But however, she also had other good responses to other posts. So that was just, so again, you see their personalities come out when you see some of these responses. But that's a rubric I use for, and I do have copies of that if you want. You can, and I can email you all this stuff if you want. I don't know how much you need.
Now, how did you learn how to set up your discussion?
Well, okay, last year, because I went through CITL, they actually hand-fed me, spoon-fed me, and they taught me everything there was to know about. I knew Blackboard because I had done, but I had not used the discussion board format. And so I went to CITL when I was developing the course, and the cartridge that I had actually had discussions in it. But but this year what I did, if you go in, so if you go to your control panel, so that's the faculty thing, and you go under discussion board. What you can do is you click on, and you can, where it says add forum at the top here, plus forum, you add a forum, and it'll give you it lets you set it up, and that's important. That's what I was gonna say too. It's important. So like you can put the name of your discussion board. So you can say chapter 1, blah blah blah. Then you tell them what you want them to, what the discussion is. So here's where you would post, please talk about blah 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 blah, whatever you want. And this is new. This was somewhat new for this year, and I really like it. This part, the forum availability part, allows you to, you don't have to have all of your discussion boards up at once. And I really like that, because I put my chapters up 2 weeks out. So they're not up, all of my chapters aren't up. So I have like 2 chapters up for the next, 2 weeks or whatever. But then, so they can't look that far ahead. I want them to focus on those chapters. So you can put if you want it just to be available for the whole time, for the whole semester, that's fine. Or you can put display after, and you can set your dates, and that's really a good feature. I like that. But I really like this forum settings feature. And I don't know all of this, and Carolyn, you might be able to help me a little bit. But what I love, now they had a little part under the control panel that it was called discussion board grader, but they don't have that anymore. But you can still grade.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do, where it says grade forum here, you put grade forum, you check that, and then however you want to grade it. Now last year, what I did it on a 100-point scale, like I'm grading a test. It wasn't the best, because again, this is learning, this is homework, and I don't really like grading like that. So what I did was I used the rubric this year. So I make points possible 3 for every discussion board. Okay, so points possible 3. And I just leave these defaults in here because I don't know everything yet. I'm still learning. But I think it allows students to moderate, if I'm not mistaken, and it also allows you to see how they're interacting within a thread, right? Okay.
And you're grading on the forum itself.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go in and say you want to grade each thread.
Oh, okay.
Which means that you're putting in set questions. You're going to grade their response to that set
Oh,
question.
okay.
They can't add any other threads. They can just respond to that thread.
Oh, okay. And that's a good point. Because what I've been doing, and I can show you this year. Let's see.
And Kathy, are you always going through the discussion board on your control panel to set them up?
No, I know you can go through oh, that was the other thing I was going to show you. If you go, I'm going to show them from my class because I did it this year. Where is this class? So it's almost the same thing. But what I did this year, I went to control panel, and when I go into my assignments to set up an assignment for them, so say I wanted to add, let's just go down to this week down here. I can play with this. Week 14, I want to add a discussion board in here. Mm-hmm. Here, you can go in, and you see over here where it says learning unit. Mm-hmm. If you drop down, you can actually add a discussion board. Mm-hmm. So you can click discussion board, okay, and then it'll, how come it didn't do it?
As long as you're in,
Press go.
Oh, I didn't.
yeah, as long as you're in the class, you can go. You will see that, and you can do it in there.
You can add
And then
discussion
you
board.
can either add a forum here, yeah, because this is what I learned this, and I was like, oh, okay, it actually was easier this way. But sometimes if you're just setting up all your discussion boards, you can do it through discussion board, or you can, so these are all of the discussion boards I have, so I could either take one of those and just drop it in, or you can create a new forum right here. And so you do a create a forum, and it comes up to the same page that I had before. And then you get the same, same information and all of that good stuff.
Okay, you can use copy function in the discussion board.
Right, you can
You
use
can
the copy function.
Yeah.
Give it a title, you can just copy it.
Yeah,
You say,
and then
"Okay,
check.
same."
Yeah, and I do that a lot, especially with what I'm expecting of them. Like I'll say, you have until
Yeah.
such and such and such a date to respond to this post. Please pay attention to the rules of etiquette. Please know that all of your, posts will be looked at or viewed, and I will respond. And so I copy that, and yeah. So anyway, so from this one, what I did was the first one was just kind of like a getting to know you, and that just gets them acclimated. So I still have students who haven't done an online course before. So what I want to do is just basically get them acclimated to getting on Blackboard and typing in the discussion board. And so they all basically respond, and it was interesting because like some of them, they would respond and then others would respond to them. And this is like, okay, they're getting to know each other even online, and it becomes